Hello, hello, hello. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inner Jenny's Corner. Welcome to our show, Get Sent with a Jenny, where we strive to educate you, motivate you, inspire you, and awaken you. Who doesn't need awakenness? Who doesn't need to be awakened in this time? In every time, really, you have to be awakened. You have to open your eyes. You have to be aware of where you are, what you're doing, who you're doing with, right? So that's what we strive to do. And I always advise everyone, once you come on my show, please grab a pen and paper. I could just be saying things that you could write down to implement in your life that will lead you to who you ought to be. Listen, everybody's growing. I don't care how old you are growing. And while you're growing, you can learn from a 2 year old, you can learn from a 15-year-old, you can learn from a 90-year-old, as long as you have the mindset of learning as you grow. Don't think about growing old, just think about growing better, right? Yes, we're all going to go away someday. Nobody's going to leave here alive, but like you're growing. That's what's important, all right? So that's what we intend to do on this show. And this show is my baby, is my heart. Whenever I come here, I speak with my heart. And all the topics, like I always say, they're from conversations, thoughts from my head. And if I'm not led, I don't talk about it. And most times I have my index cards where I have all the points to talk about, and I end up not talking about any of them and still giving you nuggets, right? And I always say on every show, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, right? Yes, and don't forget, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been coming here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. That's what we always say. See, I have people here all the time. Guess who's on here? My brother, always showing up for every show. And if he's not here, he will send me a WhatsApp to say, "Hey sis, I'm sorry I couldn't come for whatever reason. Hey Opone, I appreciate I love you and I appreciate you so much. You are consistent with your love. You are consistent with what you do and how you do it. And just I appreciate you. You know that. Thank you. I look beautiful. Thank you. All right. Who observes something different? I have the same earrings on, but different colors. So my mom makes these earrings that are just beautiful, and they're the same colors. Oh, I just thought today that my 7 year old always does that. She wear different earrings, and I think that's really unique. I'm a unique kind of person, and I'm confident in when I go out with whatever I wear because it fits me. So I wore the orange and the blue, and you have to admit that looks unique and nice. If you don't think so, then you have challenges. And the way you come on my show, you have to laugh. And sometimes we're gonna cry. Sometimes you just have to laugh. See, laughter is a good medicine. If you come on my show, like I always say, and you don't laugh at my jokes, honestly, that means that the challenges you are facing, the issues you have, are more than my jokes. I always say that, and I actually mean it. All right, just unclench things and just have fun, relax. Grab a pen and paper. Grab your favorite beverage, and let's talk. All right, all right. On today's show, you see what the topic is: intense in relationship. Your intention. You're minding your business, living your life. And here, if you're a guy, you find a girl that you like, you want her in your life for a time or forever. Also, you're a guy, you see a woman you like, you're dating, and after a while, you say, you know what? I imagine this woman for the rest of my life. Let me ask her to marry me, right? Over the months, over the years, of course, we're all growing. I have different kinds of friendship. I have different. Thank you. Thank you. You talk to different people. You watch the news. I read a lot of books. Right now, I don't read physical books, but I read Audible. If you don't have that, please download Audible. It's amazing. I get to read, as busy as I am, I get to read about three, four, 5 books a month, and I'm proud of that. So you read books or you listen to books and you talk to people older, younger. I learn from my kids every day too, from their friends and what they see in school, and I try to apply it to my lives. I'm still not perfect, but I'm a work in progress. So this topic comes from having conversations, having experiences of my own, and just life. Okay, let's move the relationship for just let's leave the relationship for 1 second. Your own self. What are your intentions for yourself? So intentions are like goals. What is your intention for your life? Where do you intend to be in the next 1 month, 2 months? You might not get there, oh, but as long as you have the plan in place to get there. And sometimes you don't know it all. Yes, sometimes you don't know it all. But as long as you have those intentions somewhere, I believe in writing. A lot of times people make fun of me because I write a lot of things. Like my husband says something, whatever you write, you don't do. But he doesn't know that there are a lot of things I'm achieving there every day that he has not even looked at. So write it down, no matter how old you are. Two, okay, two, you can write. But as long as you're able to write and reason what you write down, write it out. I want this. I want this paid off. I want this achieved. I want this done. Like me, like I always say as well, I need to lose 100 pounds. I don't care what you say. I might not look like it, but that's my goal. Guess what? I write it down all the time. Yes, I might do some diets and some things for myself, and I may fail. Failing means that I didn't hit my target. Doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It just means I didn't meet it. Start over. Do it again. Keep doing it until I'll get it right. Right? Maybe that first one didn't work for me. Now, let's put the relationship we took out back. Intent in relationship or your intention. Before a guy goes to a girl or before a girl accepts a guy in her life, what does she intend to achieve there? Does she know about his intentions? Are his intentions clear? So, in essence, what I'm saying is that for you to get into a relationship, you have to understand what the intentions are in that relationship. Because let me tell you, I've met people who were getting married and their intent for that marriage was, Ma just born. I'm getting ready. I'm getting married because I'm getting older. I just want to give birth. I just want to have a child. Now, that particular person has not really pondered and thought through what she's asking of life and God and herself. There's a human being you're trying to go in this relationship with that has what he wants from you as well, or that knows what he expects. But you, your own, because you're single-minded and you're just being somewhat selfish, you say, I just want to go in here, make it be so born, make it be so marrying. If you're not Nigerian, you're going into when you're going into a relationship and you say, oh, I'm getting old and I would like to have a child, let me just go in this relationship so I can have a child. Or some that would say, hey, I grew from poverty, let me go in this relationship because he has money, he'll take care of me. Or let me get married, that way it looks good amongst my family members and society that I'm married. That's to me, I think that's an it's not negative, but to me, I think is selfish and not well thought out. Because have you asked, do you know if that person wants a child with you? Do you know if that person can have a child? Do you know if the person has the money but they're stingy? They won't give you the money. They feel like you should have your own. You don't know. You just have your own intentions. So my point of this conversation is that, moderator, please get this right. Before, and this is strictly speaking about relationships, I believe, I believe relationships, the foundation of relationships are intentions, intents. You have to know what you want in a relationship before you let yourself get in there because that's an investment. That's emotional investment, that's time investment, that's everybody around you's investment. Intents are foundational in a relationship. If you're not clear on what you want, you're not going to be clear about anything. You just let things happen. If you're entering a relationship to please people around you, okay, now for example, you're getting married because you want to please your parents. You want to please people who raised you. You want to make a point, some stupid point. Go into the relationship. Guess what? They will clap for you because you've gotten into it. You've got married. But they're not there to see what the details are of those relationships. They're not there to see your hurts. They're not there to see that person's weaknesses that they didn't see before you guys got married. Are you guys getting my point? So before you go into a relationship, check that foundation. Today, somebody asked me, because I made a point, somebody asked me a question. But before I continue, let me just welcome everybody. Welcome every single person who's here. Maybe you're not chatting. Sunrise with Salma, thank you so much for coming. Opwene, thank you for being here. Everybody who's not particularly chatting, I appreciate you for being here. God bless you. You're amazing. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Okay. I wouldn't waste your time. You hear me, right? Awesome. And if I'm making point that makes sense to you, definitely give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me an emoji to say, yay, we got you, right? Yay, you're making sense, right? So somebody this afternoon, we're talking about relationships. I always like talking about relationships, right? And we're talking about the new prime minister in the UK, and we had a short video that was talking about his wife. She's a billionaire on her own. He's a millionaire on his own. Together, they're a powerful couple. I was like, you know what? If every couple who's married can cut the crap and set their intentions right, everybody can be a power couple. Think about it. Everybody can be a power couple. And then you define what powerful couple means. Do you want to be a powerful couple to the society, or just knowing that your iron sharpens that person's iron, and you guys are thinking through things, you guys are setting goals and achieving it, you guys have, you know what I mean? So for me, I think that those two people, they might not be perfect, but they're doing something right to be considered a power couple, not just for their family. I'm sure they're having issues, but they're achieving apart and achieving together. Does that make sense to me, to you guys? Their intention, the guy knows, okay, I have to get my master's degree, yada yada yada. She knows she has to get her master's degree. She knows that, okay, hey, you have to support me because I want to do this in my career. Okay, then he says, I want to do this, you have to support me. And they are working together because their intention, again, I'm not inside their relationship, but result is what counts. At the end of the day, let me tell you, moderator, get this. Your positive intention, that's the two people, the positive intention towards each other shows up in the results of the marriage. Positive intentions, that's what you started with good intentions. And the good intention continues, equals to the results. So if you have bad intention towards it, if one person has bad intention, the other one has good, it shows up in the results. If you both have bad intentions towards each other, towards the relationship, it shows up in the result all the time. Just like one plus one can never, ever be four. One plus one times one can never be two. Same thing. One minus one is what? Same results. Marriage, relationship, whatever. Even in siblings relationship, if one person has a good intention and the other one has a bad intention, it shows up in the results of that relationship. Yes. Compromise and support. Yes. Thank you, Salma. Sunrise with Salma. So when I'm looking at a lot of failing relationships in the Nigerian community, in the American society, so many places, what is failing is because the intentions were not right or they were not set. Because we go into relationship with like love. I love him. I love her. It's just love. And then the love, the supposed love covers sense. It covers the wisdom you're supposed to have. Because let me tell you, in a marriage, in a relationship, when somebody offends the other person, I don't know what's love. I don't know if it's love that holds. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my mother says this thing where true love stands the test of time. And I agree with her, but on the other side, sometimes it's not even love. Sometimes when there's a hurt, that you cannot shake away from, it has it goes back to that intent again. It's still love, but it's is it love, or is that made up mindness? If there's a word like that, like a made up mind, you've made up your mind that through thick and thin, I'm going to stay with this person. So I think it's more of a made up mind than love. Because when that person hurts you in that moment, you're not feeling love. A made up mind saying that I'm gonna be here regardless, it's what tramples love at the end of the day. It's love, yeah, but I think, you know, so let me come back to the fold. If your intention is right, if the intention is, I think people nowadays who are getting into relationships should sit and talk. Sometimes it's easier talked about than when the action actually happens, but is setting intentions. And in those intention, in those conversations of setting the intentions, you can draw your boundaries. Say, hey, this is my no-go area, and this is your no-go area. And if this is done, here's action that's going to be taken. Like that understanding. I think intention breeds on better understanding. Intention breeds better understanding. All right. Let's go back to the dictionary real quick, and let me define. I mean, some people might be like, "What's she talking about? Intention, intention. What does intention mean?" Hold on. Let's get into the dictionary right now. Okay. Intention or intent. You know, when you go to Google, Google start giving you very long definition. An intention is idea that you plan or you intend to carry out. That's it. If you mean something, it's an intention. So it's like your goal, your purpose, your aim. So I want you to write this down. Goal, purpose, aim equals intention. We have to stop getting into relationships without our brains, without ourselves, without our family members. People are getting into relationship. I'm an example. You go into a relationship with your heart. You go into a relationship with your heart and with good intention. And that person comes in with his own intention. And then his intention is to take you away from your family, ostracize you from people you love, and you're thinking that's love. And you're still like, oh, I had good intentions though. And then you leave your family and everything that has made sense to you to embrace this person who clearly either has no intention or has negative intention towards you. And when you fall on your feet, you realize that you had no goal for that relationship, you had no purpose in that relationship, you had no aim in that relationship. There was none. So if you are a person who has your goals and your aim and your purpose and you're straight, you know what you want, and you meet somebody who doesn't have any of those, it's difficult. It's either they learn from you and set theirs and then you set yours together, or they will never have and you struggle with yours. So it's either you go down to their level and have none and then have a dysfunctional life and relationship, or you separate yourself because you know that you are worthy of more than that. Does that make sense to you guys? Am I making sense to you guys? Give me a heart, give me a fire, give me something. So, for example, my 15-year-old comes home and tells me her friends that are dating or people who are dating in her school. No problem. For me, I think 15-year-olds is too young to date because you don't even know who you are. You don't know what you're doing. What is the point of that relationship? So you guys can chat, then we can chat as friends. Why say my boyfriend or my girlfriend? Is it for sex? Sex, you're too young to have sex at 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, in my own opinion. To me, these years are formidable years where you are gathering your life. You're getting yourself together. Like I tell my son, this is the time for you to get your hygiene together. Yes, brush your teeth. You should not be having smelling breath talking to somebody. Start to brush your teeth twice and 3 times a day. Start to know when to take a shower. Know when you're doing things so that you have, do you understand? At least you have the basics of you in place before you start dating a girl and finding yourself in that relationship. No, you are supposed to have had yourself. So one of the things I want you to leave with today is set your intention as a person before you go into a relationship. Know who you are, know what you want before you go into a relationship. Man or woman. Why? It erases a lot of strife. It creates a standard. Having intentions creates a standard. The standard is, hey, if we're together, I don't need you raising your voice at me for any reason. I don't need you sharing our private. That's your standard created by your intention. I don't want you sharing our personal business with your family members or your friends because it's you and I. Except except they are involved in a relationship, then that's what it is. Or if you are telling your family members, moderator, delete that person. We have somebody in here that shouldn't be here. Do you have delete block that person? Girls 18 XYZ. Can you block them? I did it. They have all these trolls that come in and start talking using sexual language in people's lives. I can talk about this topic all day. And the foundation of this topic is from my personal life, people's other people's lives, and things I see. And I've just always wondered, and I always tell myself, if I had my intentions right and not follow what I think somebody would think of me, then I'll be straight in my relationship. Then I will know what to do and what not to do. Some guys may have good intentions. But there's something about them that is not right with the standard you've created for you, and it's okay for you to say no. No matter if your whole family says yes, go do it. Yes, go do it. No, they're not the ones. You realize when somebody encourages you to go into a relationship that you're not sure about. Think about this. They are not the ones to be in the relationship. It's you. So what can you deal with? What can you not handle? Right? And now let's push forward. Let's say you're in a relationship right now that you didn't have intentions when you got in. You had no reason to get into that. You just jumped in because you were asked to marry. There's a ring, there's a human being. All right, let me jump in because that's what it is. And now you're having challenges. I think it's for the two people who are having the challenges to sit down and think about it. From all that has gone on so far, what can I handle? What can I not handle? What should be my intentions now? So let me reverse back to what I was talking about when I was talking to somebody today. She asked me a question because I made that mention after I talked about the prime minister and his wife. And I said, hey, couples in a dysfunctional relationship right now should cut the crap, set their intentions right, and create a new relationship in the one that they're in. She's like, oh, she doesn't understand what I mean. I was like, okay, what I mean is in a current dysfunctional marriage or relationship, the two people, the two adults, not children, the two adults should figure out what needs to be done going forward. Number one, you are adults. Number two, maybe you have kids or you don't have kids. Number three, what is important to you and what's important to me? Now, what should we do going forward? Period. What should we do going forward? Meaning that the things we did before, we're not doing those anymore because this is where we are. Now we're doing this to go forward. If both of you decide that what you see is quality relationship to build from what you see. And one thing, yes, Sunrise with Salma said something. She said respect. Respect. That should be one of the intentions. I intend to going. I'm a respectful person, and I respect people. I intend to go into a relationship with somebody who has respect for himself and people. If you date a guy or woman who doesn't have respect for herself, that's what you're going to enjoy. If you date a guy who doesn't respect his family, that's what you're going to get in the relationship. Seriously. Sunrise with Sama, what she said? She said, yeah, 13-year-old is too young. Yes. She says, way too young. I have the same with my 13-year-old. Luckily, at home. Yes. Yeah. So what I was saying was, I was telling my friend that if you know you're in a messed up relationship and you believe that that relationship can be saved, is to sit down, leave your pride at the door, come as two adults who see that they have something quality to save, and you set those intentions, and everybody is willing to change from their bad behavior, and you set those intentions in the relationship. There is no way that relationship will not work if you are intentionally daily striving to have a quality relationship. See, a lot of times in a relationship, only one person desires to have something quality. The other person is just like a robot. Whatever. Okay, whatever. If you have a whatever spouse, I don't know what to advise you. I'm not one to tell you stay or leave because it's hard to stay and it's hard to leave. You have to choose what decision to make and what's the most important to you because both of them have consequences. If the person you are in the dysfunctional relationship with is unwilling to change, guess what? Nothing is going to change. It's just new things happening, the same person. So I was telling her, and then she asked me a question. Let me get to that. I keep deviating from the topic. And she said something which is important. She said, hey, Jenny, if you have a house that was built on the wrong foundation, how do you fix that? I said, there's house and there's a relationship. Let's be real. A house that has a bad foundation would collapse one day. Maybe not now, but it's going to collapse because it's a wrong foundation. It's in the Bible. If you're able to build like a sand castle, like at the beach, if you build a sand castle at the beach, what do you expect? The biggest wave will come and knock it off. But if you move some inches way off where water will ever touch, and you build with cement, with rocks and steel and stuff from the bottom, no amount of wave will knock it over. But that's a sandcastle. So that's what I'm saying right now. For the young people here, for the people who will listen to this show in the future, who would replay it, what I'm telling you right now is once, as an individual, set intentions for yourself, expectations, and create a standard. And the standard I would advise everybody that I didn't have as a young woman, as a young girl, is a standard of excellence, not perfection, but a standard of excellence where you see bullshit. Sorry, there are kids on this show, but there's no other word to use it. I can't say you see crap. Crap sounds, you see BS, but I've already said it. If you see rubbish from afar, you can tell and turn the other way or reject it from the onset because you don't want that in your life. I am saying it from a deep place. If you have a standard of excellence, which are created by positive intentions, and you have a purpose, an aim, a goal for yourself, you can see rubbish from afar and say no to it, regardless of how it's packaged. Because some things are packaged so lovely. You can go to McDonald's and order a burger. That burger is an old burger from 2 weeks ago that was never put in the fridge and is rotten. But the paper that they used to cover it is so lovely and nice and fresh. And when you open it up, it's rubbish. But if you're a person of excellence and you touch that burger and you see it's softer than normal, you can see from afar. You can say, you know what, I don't want that. So your intentions, moderator, your intentions should create for you a standard of excellence. So check this out. If I have a standard of excellence for my life, I have intentions of the kind of marriage, the kind of relationship, the kind of person I want in my life, and the person also has the same thing, what kind of relationship that would that be? We're working out together, we're praying together, we're loving our families together. Not that we will not have disagreements, because disagreement should not cause malice. Disagreement should not cause hatred. Disagreement should not cause hurt. It's just disagreements are literally your opinion and my opinion, not heading to where you and I both want it. That's disagreement. You say A, I say B. Does not mean that it stops the growing. It doesn't mean it stops the love. Disagreement should not stop what good thing you have going on. If you have a good thing going on, people tolerate what they've accepted. People tolerate rubbish that they've accepted. Remember, when I talk to you, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me, I'm talking to you. So I told this my friend that for you to be able to work on that house that has a wrong foundation, you have to what's the word? You have to what's the big word? You have to dismantle the house and start afresh. In one of my previous relationships, that was one of our problems. It was a wrong foundation. And I suggested, and I meant it. I said, let's end this relationship. This particular one we're in, let's end it. And then let's start over by having conversations. What are the things that I do that irritates you? What are the things that you do that irritates me? What are the things that you have done that needs to be forgiven? Forgiveness is one thing. Your intention is how many times you have to forgive bad behavior to change that. You cannot even change the person. You have to know that. Anyway, let's go back. So I told this person, hey, we have to end this relationship and start on a good note. The person said, oh no, I don't like that. That doesn't happen. It's you and I, we're adults. Now, in a relationship, you may not have that time to say, okay, let's divorce, let's break up and start over. But what I believe can be done is change. Change is um the where did I say into the house again? Dismantle. Dismantle is not the word they use. What's the word? Mommy, what's that word? To scatter a house. No, to scatter it's like to scatter. Demolish. Oh, demolish. Demolish. You have to demolish that house to start over. But in a relationship, in my opinion, in a relationship, I think change is how you demolish a bad relationship from a bad foundation. Demolish, change. So demolish for a physical house is what it is. Demolish, scatter it. But demolish in a relationship means that, okay, let's come to the table. Let's create a change together. That way, we don't do the things that we did in that relationship. We have decided, we have chosen to start over from where we are, knowing all the things that were done wrong, and now we want to do it right by changing the behaviors. Did you get that? Demolish in relationship equals change. If you're telling your family stuff, I'm telling my family stuff, I'm keeping Marlies with you, I don't share my money, we're not transparent, You're cheating on me. I'm cheating on you. Whatever it is that is the problem, if we say, boom, first off, communication. Sunrise says something up there about communication. I can't see it. Sunrise, what did she say? Can we show the message of Sunrise? What she said about I said I need to read that. I didn't see it. Yes, Sunrise with Sunrise with Salma says communication is essential to any successful relationship. It takes two to make it happen, and for any relationship to work. You guys, can somebody please, Salma? Hey, let's talk. You have a podcast. I like your contribution here. I'm looking to partner with a lot of like minded individuals who love life and want to bring change and are change agents in the world. I want us to start getting together. You invite me to your podcast, I invite you to my show, and we share amazing content together because I have my crowd, you have your crowd. So, where, Salma, please share where I can reach you. Sunrise with Salma, right? Sunrise with Salma, share your information where I can communicate with you and we can make something happen. I love your contribution. I always love when people come on here or on Instagram. I love their feedback and we can have a communication. Hey, that's how people meet and that's how people grow and that's how people's lives change, okay? So share where I can reach you either on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, okay? I would appreciate that. Thanks for you being engaged here. You're amazing. All right. So we have to make that change because when the relationship is dysfunctional, it affects everyone. It affects as much as you think, I don't care, I don't care. No, it affects you. Whether positively or negatively, it affects you. So to conclude this show today, what have we talked about today? Before you go into a relationship, or maybe you may already be in a relationship, what are your intentions in that relationship? What are your goals in that relationship? And I can share some examples of positive intentions, right? For example, showing kindness and respect. When you do that intentionally and the other person does that intentionally, how far can you guys? So, sometimes when you have positive intention together, when you mean well for me, I mean well for you. Do you know that you get blessings that takes you from 0 to 1,000 in a shorter time than when you have strife from only one person having good intentions and you start dragging? I believe that. I believe that strongly. All right. So the goal in a relationship should be showing kindness and respect. The other one that I'm like, you know, I'm funny about is it says love unconditionally. As adults, as human beings, even though you've decided to change, demolish the old relationship, it doesn't mean you forget it. Yes, you have forgiven, it doesn't mean you've forgotten. So the love unconditionally, I would rather say love intentionally. Because if it's there are some funny things you do to me that in that moment I don't love you. You have to admit it. There's sometimes your spouse or partner, even your kids, even your mom or your dad or your child will do something to you. In that moment, what you're thinking about is not love. You're thinking about how to either punch the person in the neck, to leave, to just not ever talk to them. So I'll say intentional. Love intentionally. All right. Moderator, I'm not seeing you're not writing anything. What did I say the first one? Good intentions that you can practice in a relationship. Number one, showing kindness and respect. What is my moderator doing? Are you bored, moderator? The second one is love intentionally. That can be your goal. Love intentionally. And then, like Sunrise says, have open and vulnerable communication. Let's talk about things before it blows up. And because we talk about it doesn't mean we have to argue about it. Let me share my emotions with you, and you share yours with me. And I have no right to belittle what you're feeling, because that's how you are feeling, or that's how I'm feeling, right? And then share passion, affection, and intimacy. Intimacy does not have to be boom sex. No, the little things we do for each other that makes you know that you love the person. I love being told I love you every time. The only person who does that is my 4 year old. He tells me I love you every time, like 100 times a day, and I love that, because sometimes I'm not feeling loved, and then somebody as small as he is comes and says I love you. I mean, that's just a whole other conversation. All right, 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Moderator, count down. 2 minutes more. 2 minutes. Okay. How many minutes? Two. Two. Let's do two from now. Okay, let's do. It's actually one now because it's like 40 minutes and 57 seconds. All right, let's do 1 minute. So, I said share passion, affection, and intimacy, and that could be your intent going in there, right? Don't go there saying, I'll do this. He has to have money. He has to have that. That's your goal, yes. But what are you going to be? What's your contribution to that relationship? Not only the person doing it. I'm always asking myself questions. What did I do? What could I have done better? What should I have said? What should I have said better? Sometimes it's not your fault, it's the way the person perceives stuff. But you always have to ask yourself questions and never feel like you're a perfectionist. How you are is perfect. Sometimes you're good and the person is the one that has issues. But let that be communicated, or let that be clear. Clarity. Clarity in just being. Moderator, clarity. All right. Almost done, guys. So I will add more that I think about as we go, but because we have to end the show. But be intentional about being in a relationship, be intentional about being you, love who you are, know what you want, know why you're going into something, knowing know how you want to be when you're there, right? And let's have sense when we're doing stuff to each other and to ourselves. We're human beings, we're not perfect. If you're already in the relationship, count what are the goods, what are the bads, which one is more, how can you communicate better, how do we fix it? And if it's not fixable and you know it, please don't hang on. People are dying hanging on, people are going crazy hanging on. Don't hang on to something that you know it's not working. Don't be with somebody who does not want to be with you. Clearly, they've showed you they don't want to be with you. Please do not be there. Don't be scared of being by yourself. I didn't say go and divorce, so I didn't say break up with anybody. But I'm saying, not just pack your things and start leaving. Strategize and make a decision for your life. Marriage, you don't have to be married. Having a relationship, you don't have to be. But if you choose to be, understand that there are consequences to stay or to leave, or to be by yourself, to be a single mother, whatever. It's not by force to be these things. But if you must be in them, be happy. All right? Thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks for coming. And you guys rock. They're counting down for me. I have to end.